Hey, what's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. It is your girl, Miss Honey, here for another review. This is, of course, Love and Marriage DC. Season 1, episode 2. Lot of talk about Love and Marriage DC last week. A lot of discussions, a lot of panels. I enjoyed every moment of it. I'm just excited for this leg of the Love and Marriage franchise. I think it's going to be a good time. Episode 2, I still feel that way. Listen, if you are new to my channel, if you are just now discovering Miss Honey because of Love and Marriage DC, I welcome you to the tribe. I love each and every one of my honeybees. I welcome you to subscribe and, of course, comment down below. We love to chat about things down below. Of course, don't forget to share this video and give it a solid thumbs up. Listen, I just turned my fan off. So we're going to have to make this quick because, you know, your girl gets hot a lot nowadays, okay? No makeup, no earrings. But I did give y'all a nasty piece of lip gloss, right? Because why? We're not barbarians, right? Good morning. Let's talk about this episode. This episode is called Coldest Winter Ever. And although I am a diehard Monique Samuels fan, I am definitely Team Monique. I am going to have some criticisms about Monique in this review because iron sharpens iron, right? Not, you know, that she and I are on the same level or anything like that per se, but similar experiences, similar behaviors. I am considerably older than Monique, so I've made all the mistakes, Monique, when it comes to A-type personalities, controlling behaviors, and the inability to edit one's self. So that's what I mean when I say iron sharpens iron. I'm going to give you some real tough advice and have some real tough conversation for you, Monique. But it's because I already did it. I already failed. I already lost relationships because of it. I've already had to come back over those bridges and apologize and do all of these things to sort of right myself and get my energy back to where it needed to be. Okay, so yeah, we're gonna have these tough conversations today. All right, so we see where Monique is waiting for Ashley to come. They're gonna have a lovely lunch, and they do have a really great lunch where they talk about each other's marriages, and they have some similar concerns in their marriage. I think Monique's kids are slightly younger than Ashley's kids. And of course, Monique has an extra. She has 3 and Ashley has 2, but they still have some very similar things. Ashley's husband, DJ Quicksilver, is always at work and he's always working, and she, you know, has not really been able to do all of the things that she's wanted to do, get her degree, complete school, and things like that, that she's had to falter on, not once, but more than once. And likewise, Monique feels like Chris is just present. He's just physically there, and he physically provides, financially provides for them. But all of the things that she needs him to be, he's not, you know. And I do agree that a lot of people, men and women, because women can be very hard on other women, right? But men and women do feel like if a woman is provided for and she doesn't have to work, go to a 9-to-5 job. She doesn't have to worry about the credit card slipping and dipping and tripping. Then she should be grateful and she should be quiet. And I don't agree with that. Even though people don't say it, when they say, you just gonna have to learn how to deal with it. They're saying, at least he don't do this. Saying all of those things is saying you should never complain. It doesn't sound like the same words, but it's still dismissive. It's still dismissive. She has a right, Ashley has a right to her feelings about the fact that even though they're in a partnership, it doesn't feel like a partnership. It feels like one is working a little harder than the other, period. And the only reason I say working and not giving is because a lot of times men feel like when they bring a great sum of money and they put it on the table, that's their portion. I did the hard work for this and here it is, right? And women feel like as long as the food is on the table and you get a nookie when you want to and the house is clean, I've given enough. But there's a whole section of life and living and being that has nothing to do with the tangible, that is 110% about an emotional connection with someone. That's what I'm saying. Okay. So they talk about that, and they also talk about you want more kids, and Monique was like, hopefully I got off of it in time. Apparently they both are using the pull-out method as birth control. Like, okay. Okay. Unfortunately, in a lot of states, you have to use the POM method right now because all forms of BC is considered against the law. But I digress. They also have this funny conversation about arm pussy. Ashley apparently, like me, sweats quite a bit and gets hot a lot, and she was saying that even at 36, she feels like she was perimenopausal because she was having hot flashes. Anyhow, she's going to go get Botox in her armpits because she sweats a lot. And so she was like, there's no difference in an armpit and a vagina. They're both moist and they both look the same. It was this really funny joke. I like Ashley and Monique's dynamic. I thought it was funny. It was good. We see DJ Works a Lot, aka DJ Quicksilver, Ashley's husband. Evidently, he's a part of this brand DTLR, which is a radio station. Why did I think it was a clothing store? I feel like I've seen it on shoes or something. Like I thought DTLR was a clothing store. Y'all let me know. Am I confusing it with something else? Put it down below. Anyway, it's a studio he built with, I think this guy is his father. Either it's his father or it's an individual who's like a father to him. Well, DJ Quick says that this guy is his everything. Okay. So manager, scheduler, I was your lover and your secretary, working every day of the week. Basically this guy manages Quicksilver and his schedule. They have a guy come from an HBCU or HBCU organization. Evidently they have this sports tournament coming up, the CAAA. And it's going to be this big event in the city. And I guess it's kind of like our birthday bash type thing that we do here in Georgia. Except it's all centered around this sport, basketball. And so it's just something else he's got to add to his plate. It's a 3-day event. It's going to pull him away from the home for 3 days. and he's worried about what Ashley is going to think. We see where Monique did a quick little stint at WPGC, a radio station there in DC, and she's back now to meet with them. Hopefully they are going to give her an opportunity to be a regular on the radio there. She's going to be doing the 6 to 10 a.m., which means she'll have to be in the studio at the radio station at 5 a.m. And she's saying, Chris is just going to have to be okay with this. I hope he's okay with it, but I mean, he has no choice. He has to be okay with it. I just feel like this is all for TV. I just don't think there's any way in hell Monique is not talking with Chris about this job. It looks like she isn't. I just don't believe that. I don't believe that because they do seem like they talk a lot. And he seems like he's excited about the things that she's excited about a lot of times, and he's on board with a lot of the stuff that she does. I just don't see it. They've got to be playing it out this way because of for a storyline, because it's just no way this girl is going to take a job that's going to affect her family that drastically. And she hasn't already talked with her husband about it and okayed it. You know what I'm saying? Either she not going to do the radio show, or they talked about it and they figured out a way they can do it together. I just don't believe otherwise, because mommy not being there, especially since her kids are homeschooled, mommy not being there in the morning is a big deal. It's a big deal. I'm 52. Okay, this year. I'll be 52 in September. And I can remember when my mom would travel when we were younger, and my dad would have to get us up and get our hair done. It was just no. Mom is a big part of why you get up and get out and get dressed and you are ready to face the day. And not having mom there is a big issue. No way in hell they didn't discuss it. I just don't believe that. Nah. She wouldn't even been entertaining the job. I don't think so. Anywho, but I didn't like the way she was like, Chris just gonna have to deal with it. I didn't care for that at all. Then we see where Chris meets with Kevin Williams, which is Winter's currently estranged husband. Meets with this guy, and I'm sorry, he's an odd looking guy. He's an odd looking fellow, in my opinion. He's in his 60s. He looks like it. No way she should have been with this dude. Like, anywho. And what's funny is that we were like, Winter's going through something because she cut one side of her hair, but we see videos when they were all together. They were together and married, and she had that hair cut out. So maybe she was broken from way back. Maybe it's not just what's going on in this relationship. Maybe she made this drastic change because of drastic things that are going on in her life in general, even before she met this cat, right? He goes on and on this long diatribe about, they don't even say it out loud. It's just, you just see this like montage of him talking and Chris just sitting there looking. Their food just, it sits on their plates basically. Chris looks like he's eating, but he's not really eating. And then at the end of the shot, it looks like the food is still piled up on the plate. This guy is so busy talking about, trying to tell his side of the story. Basically, he was in this company and he has been accused of embezzling from this company. He was a part of this company, this partnership, and the partners apparently discovered that he had been using company funds to fund his own lifestyle. So that's, I think, the gist of what is going on allegedly. But it's just this whole thing, this fade in and out of him kind of telling his story. And he just comes across as a liar. He does. He comes across as a liar. And because it's so apparent to me, she comes across as a liar. Like, him being a liar and a scammer is so obvious to me just through this little piece that it makes her look like a liar and a scammer. Because what, girl, you got your relationship coaching, you didn't peep this dude? Like, come on. I think they both tend to overcompensate, and I don't trust either one of them. I'm gonna call them Mr. and Mrs. Smoke and Mirrors until I know a little bit more. I'm calling them Mr. and Mrs. Smoke and Mirrors until I know more. I don't. So we see where Chris, while talking to Kevin Williams, agrees that he needs to step his game up. He doesn't want to go overboard, but he does want to try to do a little bit more to just show Monique, right, that he loves her and that he appreciates her. We see Jamie, Quicksilver, and Neil, a coach, basketball coach. They get together and they're talking about the CAA. They're talking about party battle, because Quick's got several parties and he's got several of his team members that are doing parties across the city. And Jamie, who is this major party thrower, is having several events across the city. So it's going to be like battle of the events, basically. And Quick asked Jamie about how Erana feels about him getting back into nightlife. And, Jamie says, back in the day when we were younger, she had concerns, but now almost 3 decades later, she's calmed down quite a bit. She probably got a man. She probably got another man. I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying. If she ain't worried and she don't care, that means she good. Now, how she good, I don't know for sure, but I'm just saying she good. Trust me. We see where Monique is vegan now, and she's going to have a vegan party. She's got Chef Mel there. He's done several really, really beautiful vegan dishes, and she's having all of the couples over, including Winter, not Winter and Kevin, just Winter, which I think is highly inappropriate. I would never go to an all couples dinner. Never. I would never do that. But I digress. We're going to talk about it. So Chris comes down and they both are kind of like in their pre-party clothes. Like, we just got out of the shower and we just going to chill around the house for a few minutes before we have to get dress clothes. And they finally talk about the radio job. And it's so weird because in all of the scenes, it just feels like Monique is dominating the scenes. It just feels that way. So he asked her about the job and she was like, oh yeah, let me tell you about the job. I just don't believe that. It's something she really, really wants. And this is your ace boon coon, your mate, right? The first thing I'm going to do when I get in the car is be like, babe, they offered me the job. Here's the only thing. This is the only caveat. I got to be at the studio at 5 a.m. And then y'all talk about it. That's why I say they got to be rehashing it like it's the first time for the show. They have to be. I just 110% don't believe that Monique didn't call Chris the minute she got in that car and told him about this job offer. I don't believe that. And so I think that's why people are having such a visceral reaction to every time we see Monique and Chris talk, is because they're kind of replaying it in some instances as opposed to having the earnest conversations when it first happens. When we see them have earnest conversations, it's typically disagreement. It's unfortunate, but honey, Monique, listen, you got to look at the way they're shooting this. You got to look at the way they're shooting it. Right? Earnest, genuine conversations come across as a replay to me. And then conversations that are actually earnest and genuine are arguments. Are arguments. Like, I don't know. Do with that information what you will, but okay. And you know, she talks about the job and she says, I have to be there at 5. So you're going to have to get the kids up, you know, at 5. And he was like, well, you know, I get up and have breakfast going anyway, you know? And so, yeah, so it shouldn't really be that hard, you know, but you know, she was like, okay, fine. It is what it is. He says, I got to meet with Kevin and we talked. And he says, I just don't know what's going on. I'm so confused. I'm so torn because he seems like he really, 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 really loves her. And Monique is just kind of shuts it down a little bit. She was like, yeah, no, I've known Winter a while. I believe Winter when she says that yada, yada, yada. And love, it ain't got nothing to do with love if you not doing yada. And Chris was just like, if you could just let me. Monique was so dismissive in that moment. She was so dismissive in that moment. And she was like, I got to get dressed. I can't let you hold me up. What you wearing? He wearing a suit and tie. You in your own home, Chris. You're in your own home. You do not have to wear a suit and tie. Here's the thing. I have this idea that Chris's suit and tie kind of represents for him being straight, being pulled together. He looks the part. And for Monique, I think that's important that he look the part. And I think for him, looking the part equals a suit and tie. It's kind of like mommy's having a party and I have to put my big boy suit on. That's what it feels like to me. She comes back down after she's gotten dressed and she can't find her shoes and she's got slippers on or something with the slippers and the shoes, and he's just got his clothes on waiting, you know, patiently. And she's like, I know you're not laying all over my sofas and I just fluffed those pillows and you in here sleep. And like, he was like, no, I'm not asleep. I'm just checking the game stats. And she was like, well, you laying all over my pillows and I just fluffed them. He was like, well, that's what pillows are for. It's okay. It'll be all right. I was like, Monique, let me tell you something, girl. Let me just stop it right here. You are a nitpicker. You nitpick. You're a nitpicker and a nagger, right? A nitpicker, a nagger, and a criticizer. I'm telling you, it's an issue. It is an issue. If you do not begin to edit immediately, it is going to be a major problem. It's already a problem, but it's going to be a major problem to a degree that you cannot fix it anymore. And we're going to talk a little bit more about that when we get to the dinner party. I'm just saying, I don't know if this is really what's happening, because I have to keep in mind and remind myself, if I'm going to do this reality TV thing, is that things are spiced and diced. That's why I'm a huge proponent of giving Monique the benefit of the doubt, because I know how they edit things. But it's coming across, you are coming across as a nitpicker and a criticizer and a nagger. And it's like a hole that you digging for yourself, friend. It's a hole you're digging for yourself. And by the time you realize that you 16 feet down, it's too late. It's too late. The sand, the dirt from the top is coming in on your head. But listen, they're having this party. Everybody's coming. Quick and Ashley, you 36. I don't know, girl. In certain lighting, just right. You got this real pinched mouth, and I don't know, girl. You say you 36, and I don't doubt that you 36. I really don't, but okay. They have appetizers before they go to Monique's and Chris vegan dinner, which I thought was perfectly fine and smart. If you're not sure about the food that you're going to eat where you're going, you should eat first. And that way you can pick and choose when you get there. I didn't see a problem with that. The party comes, and we see Tasha and Neil. Neil is the guy from Dinner with the Guys earlier on in the night, the coach. His wife is a hairdresser and a friend of Monique's. I think back when they were on the other show, she was Monique's hairstylist, which I fear is hairstylist, because Monique is always pulled together, right? And Monique talks about how they just fell into this real sisterly friendship and how close they are. Neil and his wife Tasha, they played their part. We didn't get a lot of conversation from them, but we got a lot of genuine moments of conversation that they were having, being shot from far off. So they seem like nice people. Ashley and Quick were there. Quick has got a weird little build. Is it me, or is he built like the letter H? Like, he is like stocky and short. And then I was like, sometimes he got a gap, but sometimes he don't have a gap. Like, does he have a gap? I can't remember. I feel like I see a gap every now and then. Yeah. Y'all put it down below. He's got a weird little shape about him. DJ, you got to stay on top of that. Like, all these big comfy sweaters and stuff. Like, anyway. So, and then we see Jamie and Erana. Erana immediately says she doesn't eat vegan. She doesn't do vegan. I was like, you might want to, boo. You might want to. And then we see Winter and her scalp show up. Why would you invite a single woman, a woman who is not married, into a crowd of married people? Why would you do that? Women and their husbands and their wives. Why would you invite this woman? First of all, it's gonna make her a target. If she's chatting it up with a husband over in the corner about something completely mundane, benign, innocuous, she could be tagged as, as a flirter. She trying to steal somebody's man. If she talking too much to the girls and talking about, what she got going on from a man's perspective, it could be perceived that she's trying to get his wife out here in these streets hanging out. You know what I'm saying? Like, maybe I'm speaking from personal experience because I'm single. I've never been married. I don't go nowhere where it's all couples. Don't invite me nowhere where it's all couples. I don't like that. If it's not going to be other single people there, don't invite me. I don't have time for the drama. I don't have time to navigate those waters. So that's, to me, is odd, except Winter's presence offers the opportunity for Ashley to be mean girl. And like I said before, I think I said it on Really Be TV's Love and Marriage DC podcast. They do a live panel about the show on Sundays. I think it's going to happen around 4 p.m. today. So you guys check out Really Be TV here on YouTube. But I said in the chat last week that I think Winter is the sacrificial lamb. She's going to be fodder this season. She's going to be the one everybody kind of, chats about, picks on, that type of thing. And this way it kind of preserves our three main couples. So yeah, good luck, Winter. And then we see where, like I said, Erana doesn't eat vegan food. Ashley is just not feeling Winter. The Samuels are going to Africa. Now we're all sitting around, we're enjoying our food. People have eaten and they've started eating and they realize it's just as good as regular food. You don't miss meat. Not like that. Like, you definitely don't miss all the chewing that you have to do with meat. Vegan food is perfectly fine. It's delicious. It's some of my favorite food. So yeah, let's move on from that. The Samuels are talking about the fact that they homeschool and they were learning about Africa and the original name of Africa. And Monique was like, let's go to Africa. And this is the best part about who Monique is. Like, she just wants every experience to be a wonderful experience. And we see that from the dinner table setup and how, you know, the menu that she picked out, the placements of everything. She just wants everything to be a wonderful experience. And sometimes she can just push a little bit too hard to get that perfect moment that she wants. But yeah, she is a great wife. She's a great wife. If you want your children to be educated and well-rounded and well-spoken and pulled together, Monique is the perfect example of what a wife who does all of those things looks like. You know, she's not just some fuddy-duddy stuck in the mud. We homebody people. We just go to the movies, you know, and make dishes with mayonnaise and Lay's potato chips. You know, she's not a run of the mill, you know, and I love that about her. So they're doing all these wonderful things with it, and it's like a tour of Africa. And so Erana was going to say something, and Jamie also was going to say something. And so since they both went to speak at the same time, he shushed her. And Winter made a comment in the confessional. Oh, I'm so sorry. I got to turn my fan on. Y'all just going to have to hear it. She made a comment in the confessional that said, I don't like the way he dismissed her and shushed her. See, that's why you're not supposed to be there. You're not supposed to be there because all of the other couples are kind of probably used to those dynamics in a way. And, you know, you calling stuff out because one, you freshly separated 6 months into it. So everything is going to be a trigger for you. And two, it's not your place, girl. Don't get in this. Don't get in it, girl. Don't get in it, girl. These women are going to eat you alive. Okay. It happened so quick. I was like, what happened? I probably needed to play it back. He was like, blah. She shut up. So hey. Okay, so this is where I want to get into the Chris and Monique dynamics. So he asked her, Jamie, with everything going on with COVID, are you not worried about COVID? And she's, you know, Chris has had it a couple of times. Seems like Monique's had it a couple of times. Jamie had it a couple of times. Like everybody at the table just about seems like they've had it. Now I'm a little surprised that Monique had it. Now maybe not because she's got kids, but she's had it a couple of times. Anyway, she said that the first time was worse than the second time for her, and she realizes that it robs her of all her sodium. She would sleep upstairs and by herself because Chris didn't check on her and didn't feed her and didn't care about her. And Chris was like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? Everybody was like, Chris, how could you do that? She did throw him up under the bus. She did. And then she forgot just that quick that she did not say it. You're so busy trying to be heard in every single solitary situation. You feel obligated to weigh in and dominate in the conversation, Monique. And when you have that much language, verbiage coming out of your mouth, it's easy to forget some of the foo-la-la that you said. You said it, they rewound it, it was said. I also kept noticing the way Chris's eyes would dart over there to you. She was just right next to him. He was sitting at the head. And it was like every time she started talking, he cut his eyes a little bit. And it reminded me a lot of his mom. That's why I kept noticing it, because his mom kind of rolls her eyes the same way he rolls his eyes. Chris is able to hold it in the road just a little bit more, but you can tell every time she starts in on a diatribe, he is like, shut the duck up. That's how he looks at her. It's not for the scene either. They're shooting the table, and you can see that she's talking. You can hear her talking, and you can see his eyes dart over there at her. Now he had a drink, but I was like, girl, let me tell you something. He may never divorce you. He may never leave you. He may never say a word about you. He may be married to you until you are 95 years old each and still not like you. What you don't want is for your man to love you but not like you. Because he'll do a lot of things in this obligatory way, meaning I feel obligated to do these things. I was not raised not to do these things. That's why I'm doing these things. But I don't like you. I don't like you. You don't want that. You want your husband to love and to like you. You don't want him to just be obligated to do, but you want him to be eager to do. And in order for that to happen, you got to pull back. You got to pull back, Monique. You got to pull back. You need to pull up. You need to take a season of shutting up. My mama used to call it shut mouth grace. Wait until you're asked. And even though you may be excited in the conversation, continue to edit yourself. You don't have to always be this way, but once you train yourself to shut up, you will find that it is a lot easier to share. When you train yourself how to shut up, you'll find it a lot easier to share. You'll find that when you share with people, it is more acceptable. It is more palatable, right? People are eager to hear what you have to say. But first, you got to teach yourself how to shut the duck up. Okay? You don't have to rule and reign over every single solitary thing. You don't have to dominate everything. You kill it in the bed, you kill it in the kitchen, you kill it with teaching the kids, you kill it at business, you're killing it at reality TV. You cannot kill it also in dominating your husband in this way. Dominating all the energy in the room in this way. You can still move in a space and be a powerful force and be completely silent. It's not easy, but you can do it, friend. You can do it. Okay? You can do it. As soon as this conversation happens, he is offended. He is offended. I didn't say that. Yes, you did say it. Play it back. They played it back for us, but he knows that she said it. He's used to this. He was very clear about how when before COVID, when she was sick, don't make it seem like, he's telling his side of it now. This is what you want. You wanted him to share. He's telling his side, and you're going in and out of the conversation, darting in and out of the conversation and pulling words out and throwing them over on your side of the fence so you can defend it. You're not listening. Early on, when you would get sick and he would come up and check on you and interrupt you, you would scold him about it. So when you got COVID, he just did the same thing. He let you get your rest. And when he checked on her and realized that she was getting worse, he realized he needed to check on her a little bit more. And so going forward, that's what he did. He checked on her a little bit more. But you told it like he wasn't feeding you, he wasn't taking care of you, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And that pissed him off. And I feel like he stayed pissed off about that the rest of the night. Even though they squashed it and kissed and moved on, it was for the camera. But I think he was upset about that the rest of the night. And clearly we're going to see next week that she was upset about the fact that he told her to hush. Let it go, girl. Let it go. I'm telling you, what you don't want is for your husband not to like you no more. That's not what you want. That's not what you want. Okay. Jamie and Erana, they were talking about, this is another conversation that Monique was going on and on about, and Chris was cutting his eyes at her. about the fact that they didn't want to talk about their relationship at their party. It wasn't much of a party in my opinion, so they could have had a myriad of things go on, but I digress. They were just, Jamie was saying their relationship has been up and down, up and down. This is the best time of their life that they're having right now. Erana said that there were some infidelities. Although she never physically caught him with someone, she knew that there was something going on, and he never denies it. He never denies it. Which I thought was just weird. Well, not weird if you're cheating, I guess. Ashley and Quick, like I said, he's an odd little man, shape-wise, energy-wise. Something is just off with him. And then Monique brings up Kevin, the fact that Chris met with Kevin. And then she starts to tell what Chris's experience was in the conversation with Kevin and how she poo-pooed it. And then Winter starts to tell her story again. She starts to rehash her story. It has no place here. It has no place at dinner with couples who love each other and are committed to each other. It has no place there whatsoever. And Ashley is making comments, about the fact that this guy has been called out as an embezzler. The things that Ashley, this is what I always tell people. When you busy telling somebody how awful and how terrible your mate or your spouse is, you're actually telling people, perception wise, that you make bad choices. That's what people hear. That's what people hear when you say, oh, he's a beater or abuser and he's got 12 kids and then people are like, well, why would you get with somebody with 12 kids? I didn't know. I had no idea. The more you tell that story, the worse you look as a functioning adult who's supposed to have a modicum of common sense. This guy's like 60 years old. You saw what he wanted you to see and you got took. Ashley is kind of calling her out on that, which is inappropriate from Ashley, but at the same time, this is why I don't go to couples parties. First of all, they bring their backup with them. One, and two, nah. It's no place for a single woman. It isn't a party full of couples. No place for it. Episode kind of ends there with Ashley being kind of accusatory towards Winter. And so we're going to see it escalate from there. But how do you guys feel about this episode? How do you guys feel about my advice to Monique and how she's moving? I'm still very much team Monique. I think that we all take this journey and we learn. A lot of times we learn by tripping and falling. And we get up, we dust ourselves off, and we say, okay, I need to move a little bit differently. I think this show is a very, very good opportunity for Monique to work on what her toughest, most challenging project is, which is her marriage. And I think a lot of that work she personally feels is on Chris. Chris needs to work on it. I think that with everything that she is successful and good at, this is the perfect opportunity for her to conquer her own personal shortcomings, which is your need to constantly be heard, your need to quantify through words. That is a problem. It's something that's a challenge for you. And I think it's something that you can conquer. It's going to be your toughest battle because you've been doing it too long. But it can be done, sis. Y'all tell me what y'all think about it. Y'all put it down below. I'd love to hear your comments and your thoughts about this. Until next time, honeybees. I'll holla.